A new report says that since 2005, the number of floods across the world has increased by 15 times and extreme temperature events by 20 times. It concludes politicians and policymakers have failed to grasp the gravity of the environmental crisis facing the Earth.
Here's a summary of the article.
The report from the Center-Left Institute for Public Policy Research says these factors are driving a complex, dynamic process of environmental destabilization that has reached critical levels. The authors urge three shifts in political understanding, on the scale and pace of environmental breakdown, the implications for societies, and the subsequent need for transformative change. The IIPR says many scientists believe we have entered a new era of rapid environmental change. The report warns, we define this as the age of environmental breakdown, to better highlight the severity of the scale, pace and implications of environmental destabilization resulting from aggregate human activity. Simon Lewis, professor of global change science at University College London, told BBC News, IPPR are right to say that environmental change is happening ever faster and threatens to destabilize society. This century will be marked by rapid social and environmental change, that is certain. What is less clear is if societies can make wise political choices to avoid disaster in the future. Harriet Bulkeley, a geography professor at Durham University, told BBC News that the IPPR paper was a good interpretation of the current evidence, but she said it raised the question of how firm evidence of environmental threats had to be to prompt government action.
This post received a score of 41,000, with an upvote ratio of 89%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Scientists point to a potentially deadly combination of factors, including climate change, mass loss of species, topsoil erosion, forest felling and acidifying oceans. bbc.co.uk/news/science-environment-472033444 closing square bracket opening parenthesis.
Some of those mentioned factors are results of the actual factors though. Oceans become more acidic because there's more CO2 in the air, and the mass loss of species is due to habitat loss like forest felling and increase in temperature. Not that the message is wrong or anything, I just found it confusing that they were being grouped together as factors. If you combat CO2 emission and deforestation, you are already tackling a huge chunk of the problem. Scale back meat production would be an excellent start.
Ha 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 ha, what dreamland America that would be.
America is lost. Can we just move on now and focus on the rest of the world? Lots of other places are lost.
The 10 most polluted rivers in the world are in India, China and Africa. While the US, EU and Canada need to work on greener production technologies to wean themselves off China's grip on manufacturing, the rest of the world is in no better shape than the US. Let me also introduce you to the Niger Delta.
Big oof.
Not so much failed to grasp, I'd say. More like willfully ignorant.
Just like most of the population. Yea, this is serious and something must be done, by other people, not me. Edit, upvoting and commenting on Reddit isn't doing. Doing happens in real life. On the streets.
I can't stop ships at sea from using bunker fuel, illegally by the way, but a fine isn't a deterrent, which puts out more emissions than I do in the 15 years. I don't have any say in how power is produced in my own country, let alone others. Commercial and residential carbon emissions count for 11% of the carbon. Transportation, industry, and electricity production account for 78%. Agricultural impact is 9%, and you still hear people saying we need to remove meat from our diets completely because of the environmental impact. If literally everyone on the planet lived as green as possible and cut th.
Greater than they want individuals to blame each other, so the eyes are off of the companies making money off destroying the planet. We could protest against those companies. Imagine 1,000 people being civil disobedient against such a company. But we aren't protesting. We are looking for excuses why not to protest. Just like they want. Occupy Wall Street is one of the largest protests in our country's history, definitely covering more of the country and lasting longer than any other. We've had giant marches like the Women's March. Protests at Trump's inauguration weren't covered much, but they were huge, and multiple blocks had people being tear-gassed. People haven't stopped protesting, they've just been protesting the right way, peacefully. Peaceful protests don't work when your government doesn't respect you.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.